You know that feeling, right? That little tickle in your nose, the pressure starts to build, and then bam, this massive explosive reflex takes over your entire body. Well, today, we are diving deep into one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, unstoppable things our bodies do, the sneeze. And it all comes down to this one single question we've all probably wondered about. You feel the sneeze coming on, you take that deep breath, and you think to yourself, okay, this time I'm going to keep them open. And yet, every single time your eyelids slam shut. So what gives? What's actually going on here? Well, the short and sweet answer is your brain just won't let you. Seriously, this has nothing to do with willpower or how focused you are. It is a hardwired, non-negotiable order that comes straight from your body's command center. You are on autopilot, and your eyelids are just following the flight plan. So, to really figure out why our eyes get involved, we first have to understand the sneeze itself. We need to appreciate the sheer raw power we're dealing with here. Because a sneeze isn't just a tiny puff of air. Oh no, it's more like a biological rocket launch. Okay, get this. The air blasting out of your nose and mouth can hit speeds of up to 200 kilometers per hour. Now, I know, that's just a number. It's kind of hard to picture. So let's put that into perspective for a second. That's right. The gust of wind leaving your body is faster than the winds you'd find in a Category 5 hurricane. It's an unbelievably powerful defense system designed to blast any unwanted irritants out of your nose with, let's just say, extreme prejudice. And this whole thing happens in the blink of an eye. Literally. Some irritant, like dust or pollen, tickles this major nerve in your face called the trigeminal nerve. That nerve then sends an urgent red alert signal straight to a command center deep in your brain, which immediately launches the whole achoo sequence. And that command center has a name, the medulla oblongata. This is your official sneeze center. What's really cool is that this is a super ancient, primitive part of our brain. It's been running the sneeze show for millions of years, perfectly coordinating this entire involuntary symphony of muscles. Okay, so we know what starts the sneeze. But where do our eyes fit into the picture? Well, it turns out that as part of that automatic sequence, the medulla oblongata sends out a very specific command you can't override. It's a reflex you just can't refuse. The signal it sends to your eyelids is what scientists call involuntary, which is basically a fancy way of saying you have zero say in the matter. You can't veto it. Researchers at the University of Basel even confirm this. They had people try to fight it, and every single time, the brain's electrical signal to shut the eyes just won. No contest. And this is where it gets really mind-blowing. Look at the timing here. The medulla sends the close your eyes signal at the very start of the whole process. It's the opening act. Your brain literally tells your eyelids to shut before it tells your diaphragm to contract for the big blast. It's step number one. Okay. So we've established it's an automatic command we just can't stop. But that brings us to the next massive question. Why? Why does our brain care so much about shutting our eyes? Well, science doesn't have just one single definitive answer, but there are a few leading theories that make a lot of sense. The first idea is that it protects you from the pressure. Closing your eyes might be a way to guard the super delicate blood vessels in there from that huge spike in pressure. The second one, and maybe the most obvious, is the splashback shield theory. I mean, a sneeze can shoot out 40,000 little droplets. This is just a built-in way to keep all that gunk from flying back into your own eyes. And finally, it might just be a linked reflex, kind of a blink reset to keep your eyes lubricated during all the chaos. All of this talk about pressure and force and explosive power, well, it brings us to that famous and, let's be honest, slightly terrifying playground myth. You know the one I'm talking about, the one that says you have to close your eyes or else. So let's just go there. Let's say, through some superhuman feat of willpower, you managed to defy your brain and keep your eyes wide open during that 200-kilometer-per-hour hurricane. Is there any truth to that old story? Would your eyeballs actually pop out of your head like champagne corks? The answer is a huge, definitive, resounding no. Not even a little bit. It makes for a fantastic story. But from a biological standpoint, it's pure fiction. And here's exactly why it's pretty much impossible. See, your eyeballs aren't just kind of floating around in there. They are locked in place by a whole system of 6 incredibly strong muscles, not to mention the optic nerve. Think of them like industrial-strength bungee cords, anchoring your eyeball firmly into its socket. They are way, way too strong for the pressure from a sneeze to ever be a threat. And hey, don't just take my word for it. As modern ophthalmologists make very clear, the risk is astronomically low, which is science speak for basically zero. The worst thing that would probably happen if you kept your eyes open is you just get some germs in them. But rest assured, they are staying right where they belong.
And while we're on the subject of weird sneeze facts, here's a bonus for you. A pretty big chunk of the population, somewhere between 18 and 35%, has something called the photic sneeze reflex. For these people, just walking out into bright sunlight can trigger this exact same unstoppable sneeze sequence. It's a funny little genetic quirk that scientists are still trying to figure out.
So what's the big takeaway here? Really, the next time you feel that tickle coming on, just let it happen. The unstoppable sneeze and that automatic eye shut that goes with it is just a powerful, protective, and totally automatic reflex. It's a perfect little reminder of the incredible, complex systems that are working inside you 24/7 to keep you safe without you ever having to think about it.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thought. Our bodies are just full of these weird automatic programs, right? From getting hiccups or goosebumps to that strange falling sensation you sometimes get just as you're drifting off to sleep. So we'll leave you with this. What's the weirdest thing your body does that you have absolutely no control over? Stay curious.